doesn't matter who, it doesn't matter when, it doesn't matter how. Jealousy roots deeply in this league, and now it's Shakira Austin's time to be jealous. If they're not going to cheer for us, then I don't want to play here. Mystics forward Shakira Austin said of playing in Baltimore. Shakira Austin,
The WNBA has been facing a storm of challenges for years now, with constant PR disasters, legal battles, and tensions between players and management. The league has struggled to stay relevant in a market that often overlooks women's sports. Despite the adversity, there's one player who's managed to bring the league into the spotlight: Caitlyn Clark. In just her second year as a pro, Clark has become a force to be reckoned with.
I don't get it. We have another WNBA player complaining about fans. Complaining about fans. These are the same women who cried and complained that people weren't watching the games, people aren't supporting, yada, yada, yada. NBA players aren't supporting. Now you see NBA players supporting. You got fans coming out. Caitlyn Clark done brought all these people through, got everybody in tune with what's going on, not just with her and the Fever, but other teams around the league as well now have benefited from Caitlyn Clark. And what do you have? Another player complaining.
She's not just another player. She's the reason the WNBA has seen a surge in viewership, merchandise sales, and overall fan engagement. Every time she steps on the court, it's a reminder that she's a key part of why people are paying attention to women's basketball. But that kind of success isn't always easy for others to swallow, and that's where things get tricky. In a league already struggling to find its identity, some players can't seem to handle Clark's rise. Shakira Austin's decision to take a cheap shot at her, calling her wishy-washy, was a prime example of this. Instead of focusing on her own game, Austin decided to go after Clark, the one player who's actually putting the WNBA on the map. But did she really think this was the right move? Let's take a closer look. When Shakira Austin called Caitlyn Clark wishy-washy, she probably didn't anticipate the ripple effect it would cause. What she didn't realize was that she wasn't just taking a shot at Clark as a player. She was attacking the foundation of the WNBA's current relevance. Caitlyn Clark isn't just a standout player. She's the face of the league. And when you go after the face, you're not just poking at a person, you're poking at the engine that's driving the league's growth. Let's break this down. The WNBA, despite its efforts, has long struggled to fill arenas and attract mainstream attention. That all changed when Caitlyn Clark entered the scene. From record-breaking performances to sky-high TV ratings, Clark has single-handedly turned the league into a must-watch event.
Austin, and I like Shakira Austin's game. I'm very disappointed with what she had to say about the fans of Baltimore and the whole DC, everything. I know Baltimore is not DC. I know that. She's complaining about fans, complaining about Caitlyn Clark fans. Now, we just had this situation. With one Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard of the Atlanta Dream did a whole press conference crying and complaining that her home arena and fans were cheering for A'ja Wilson. Do y'all want people at these games or not? We have watched you guys disrespect and malign fans all season. All season. We've had enough of it. I've never seen people complain about fans so much, but need the fans to get more money and want more money, want more attention, and all of this stuff. But
her presence brings in fans who might otherwise have never paid attention to women's basketball. Without her, the league would be looking at an even steeper uphill climb. So when Austin threw her wishy-washy insult, she wasn't just dissing Clark, she was attacking the one player who has been the key to the WNBA's survival. It's one thing to take a shot at a fellow player, it's another to take a swing at the star who's keeping the spotlight on the entire league. And in doing so, Austin made a monumental mistake. As soon as Shakira Austin's wishy-washy remark hit the internet, it was like tossing gasoline on an already blazing fire. The response was instant, and not in the way she probably hoped. Fans from all over, especially Caitlyn Clark's loyal following, quickly flooded social media, letting their voices be heard.
Star is mad. Wishy-washy fan base. She calls him out for Caitlyn Clark.
What started as one player's attempt to stir the pot turned into a viral storm that left Austin in the crosshairs. And it wasn't just Clark's fans that were reacting. Analysts, fellow athletes, and even people who couldn't care less about women's basketball had something to say. The comments spread like wildfire, being memed, mocked, and dissected in every corner of the internet. The backlash was swift, and it was brutal. Everyone seemed to be pointing out how unnecessary, petty, and downright weak the jab was. What made it worse was that it wasn't just a lighthearted critique. The sarcasm dripped with a tone that felt more personal than professional.
Bona fide Caitlyn Clark hater, and on top of that, she seems to hate Caitlyn Clark fans. Now, I wonder when she gets ready to sign the new CBA that's possibly 4 times higher than the salary she's getting right now, who do you think she believes is the reason that she getting all that?
What Austin didn't count on was the sheer power of Clark's fan base, which wasn't just a few loyal followers. It was an Army college fans, Iowa supporters, and even casual sports viewers who were all ready to stand behind Clark. When you take a shot at her, you aren't just upsetting one person. You're kicking off an avalanche of support for someone who already had the world watching her every move. And that's where Austin really miscalculated. Let's get one thing straight. Caitlyn Clark doesn't need to say a word. Her game speaks for itself. Since her arrival in the WNBA, she's quickly become the league's brightest star. And not just because of her skill on the court, it's her influence. Clark is turning heads, breaking records, and drawing crowds. Her name is synonymous with the WNBA now. And if you don't recognize it, you're missing the bigger picture. Just think about it, 2nd year in the league, and she's already carrying the weight of the WNBA on her shoulders. Double-doubles, countless records shattered, and a presence that's making even casual fans tune in to watch her play. Every time Clark steps on the court, it feels like an event. People aren't just watching a game. They're watching a superstar in the making, someone who is reshaping the narrative around women's basketball. And when you compare that to Shakira Austin, it's clear who's really driving the conversation. Austin isn't even close to being a household name, and frankly, she's not even the reason anyone's showing up to games. The truth is, without Clark, the WNBA wouldn't be seeing the kind of viewership it's getting right now. Her presence isn't just magnetic, it's necessary. If the league hopes to grow, they need more players like her, not players trying to tear her down. While Shakira Austin's wishy-washy remark may have started as a casual jab, there's an undeniable undercurrent of racial tension that can't be ignored. It wasn't just a poorly chosen insult, it was a comment that carried a heavier weight, especially when you look at the larger context. In a league where Caitlyn Clark has already faced criticism for not fitting the preferred narrative of women's basketball stars, Austin's words only added fuel to a fire that's been smoldering for some time. Clark's success in the WNBA has been met with skepticism by some, especially when it comes to how the league treats her. Despite her incredible performances, Clark has often been viewed as an outsider, someone who doesn't fit the traditional mold of who the WNBA is supposed to spotlight. By calling Clark wishy-washy, Austin wasn't just insulting her play. That comment, coming from another player, carried an air of dismissiveness that many felt was tinged with racial overtones. This wasn't just another baseless criticism, it was a slap at a player who has earned her spot as the face of the league. And by targeting Clark in this way, Austin inadvertently echoed the frustrations of fans who believe the WNBA has been dismissive of Clark's impact, often because she doesn't align with certain expectations. The racial dimension here isn't just a theory, it's something that many people saw immediately, and it's not something that can be easily swept under the rug. The instant backlash that followed Shakira Austin's wishy-washy comment wasn't just loud, it was deafening. Within minutes, the internet exploded. Memes flooded social media, fans rallied behind Caitlyn Clark, and analysts jumped in to mock Austin's remark. What Austin thought would be a clever dig quickly turned into the sports equivalent of stepping on a landmine. And the worst part? The fallout wasn't limited to just fans, it started seeping into her professional life too. Austin's regret was clear from the moment she realized the magnitude of her mistake. She tried to walk back her words, but once something's out in the public eye, it's out there for good. The damage was done. Austin went from trying to position herself as a tough competitor to being seen as petty and tone-deaf at best. And worse, her reputation became a punchline for anyone looking to take a jab at her. She wasn't just getting heat from Clark's supporters. Even those who weren't Clark's biggest fans recognized how wrong she was. But the real consequences for Austin went beyond the memes. The WNBA's entire atmosphere became a bit more toxic because of her actions. Players in the league, who depend on the league's success to boost their own careers, were watching as Austin's unnecessary remark made the league look fractured. At a time when the WNBA should have been building momentum, Austin added fuel to the fire. And no amount of apologies or backtracking would undo the perception that she had just taken a massive misstep, one that could cost her, both on and off the court. Shakira Austin's careless remark is just one example of the deeper dysfunction within the WNBA, a league that can't seem to get out of its own way. While Austin's words made waves, they also highlighted the ongoing issues that plagued the league. From PR disasters to shady backroom deals, the WNBA has consistently struggled to manage its image, and this moment only brought more of that dysfunction into the light. Take the situation with the Connecticut Sun, for example. Instead of celebrating the potential for growth, with offers to move the team to Boston, the league shut them down before even bringing the offer to the table. Then, in a move that reeked of desperation, the WNBA tried to lowball the team with a much cheaper offer to relocate it to Houston. This isn't just mismanagement, it's a failure to understand how to capitalize on opportunities that could bring more visibility and financial stability to the league. Meanwhile, the WNBA continues to fumble its handling of star players, especially Caitlyn Clark. The league should be doing everything in its power to support and protect its most marketable player. After all, Clark is the one keeping the spotlight on the league. But instead of building a cohesive strategy around her, they allow petty rivalries and internal tensions to fester, undermining the very stars that could help the league thrive. Austin's comment wasn't just a bad look for her. It was a symptom of a much larger issue that's been holding the WNBA back for years. A league that can't even protect its own players from making career-damaging moves can't expect to thrive in the competitive sports market. And if the league doesn't address this dysfunction soon, it's going to continue to miss out on opportunities to grow and be taken seriously. When all is said and done, the irony of this situation is impossible to ignore. Shakira Austin thought she was making a clever jab at Caitlyn Clark, but in reality, she handed her a major PR win. Austin's wishy-washy comment didn't just fail to land, it amplified Clark's star power. By attempting to take down the face of the league, Austin only managed to push her higher into the spotlight. Every tweet, every meme, every sarcastic comment from fans only served to solidify Clark's status as the WNBA's most marketable player. But the real kicker, it's not just about Austin's mistake. This incident reflects a deeper issue within the WNBA A-League that has struggled to capitalize on its successes and handle its brightest stars. While Austin's regret is personal, the league's inability to unite around its top talent is a much bigger issue. The WNBA has failed to create an environment where players can thrive without tearing each other down. Instead of supporting Clark's rise, they allowed a petty insult to expose their internal divisions. And here's the most frustrating part. Caitlyn Clark isn't just carrying the WNBA on her back, she's carrying the entire women's sports world. Without her, none of this attention would be on the league. And yet, there are still players and organizations inside the WNBA that seem determined to undermine her at every turn. The league has to wake up and realize that its survival isn't just about improving the game, it's about supporting the players who bring the spotlight. For now, though, Austin's regret is set in stone. Her words will be remembered, not for their intended effect, but for how they expose the flaws of a league that still has a lot to figure out. And Caitlyn Clark, she just keeps winning, no clapback necessary.